Okay, so now we'll see revaluation. So to test this revaluation, we'll go with the simple case. Okay, so our ledger is USD ledger, right? So our functional currency is USD. To test this revaluation concept, what we'll do is we'll create the journal in different currency, foreign currency. Create journal in INR. So we'll do the revaluation with the today date. To perform the revaluation with the today date, better we can have the journal with the past date. Say we have one journal which is created on, say, this month first. So create journal in INR by using the date called as 1st August 2018. Say as on August 1st 2018, the rate between USD to INR is, say, 67 rupees. So at this rate, say you are going to create the journal. So you'll be entering the, you will create journal by entering the currency as a INR, and that will get converted into USD. And today you want to perform the revaluation. Okay, today we want to perform the revaluation. Say perform revaluation today. Today the date is 19th August 2018. So the today's conversion is, say, 70 rupees. $1 equal to 70 rupees. Okay, this could be related to your assets or liability. Current assets or liability. Okay, the transaction, the journal, what we are going to record, you may record for current liability or current assets. So we, by performing the revaluation, will come to know what is the variance between these rates. The variance system will be resulting as a unrealized gain or unrealized loss. And system will create the revaluation journal entry. We'll create the journal with this date by following this rate, and will perform the revaluation as on today by following, we'll set this rate, and whenever we perform the revaluation, system creates revaluation journal. So within the revaluation journal we can find unrealized gain or unrealized loss account based on the fluctuation which you see the time to time. Okay, so first we'll create the journal. We know very well, like, basically this, the transaction should flow from the subledgers. It could be payables or receivables. If it is a payables, current liability; receivables means current asset related information. But now just we are passing the manual journal to test it. Okay, the concept wise and setups wise, there are no changes in Fusion if you compare with EBS as it is. So first we'll go and create the journal. Okay, fine. Go to navigator. And go to task called as journals, and before that we have to set the rate. Okay, so we'll define the rate, currency conversion rate we have to define. So after creating that, we can go and enter the journal. Go to period close task, go to task list, and just click on manage currencies task, currency rates task. Select daily rates, say create in spreadsheet. Say connect So cloud IMC user. So select from currency under to currency, say USD to INR. Conversion rate, say corporate. From and to date for the same, say August 19, 2018. So, okay, as we planned, like as on today, we want to set the rate as a 70. And for testing purpose, we want to create journal with a past date. Okay, we'll go on to set the rate with the date also. Here USD, INR, corporate. Here date is 1st August. So the rate we can take as a 67. Done. So import these two rates for these two different dates. Submit. Okay, done. You can close this. Now we'll go and create the journal as on 1st August 2018. Go to journals task. Go to task list and click on create journal. So I'm just giving the name as expense journal batch expense journal, and this journal we want to create in foreign currency. Otherwise we no need to do any revaluation, right? And we want to create this journal as on 1st. Let's see, today is the 1st August and we are entering this journal, and we'll just go and do the revaluation on 19th. So accounting date 1st August. The conversion date also take as a 1st August. Replace it because no rate was found on the specified date and range. We entered, right? Why it is not? Let me cancel.
The conversion rate type should be a corporate or user. That could be the problem. But it shows here in the bottom.
Yeah, see, first we have to change the currency, then the field should be open. Corporate, not this date. First, change it. Yeah, done. You can just select any one of the category. So just expense. Okay, select company, department, and account. I think we have a journal approvals enabled, right? We'll do one thing. I'll just go and disable the journal approval. Otherwise, we have to wait till we get the notification and we have to approve. Then only we can go to the next step. What I'll do is I'll just disable the approvals at ledger level. So specify ledger options. Just click on go to task icon. Uncheck this checkbox. Say save and close. Fine, done. Now you may just refresh this URL. Say create journal. Now the approval status is not required for our lecture. Okay, done. So say we are creating journal on 1st April, 1st August, and you can change the currency to INR. Just change the date to first. Yep, system is defaulting the same. Rate type we selected, we defined is corporate. Done. Yes, sorry. So now select any one of the expense account. any account for testing, say 1 lakh rupees. Now we'll do the revaluation for liability, current liability. So you can select here accounts payable account. Reality, these sort of journals we get from payables. Instead of creating there and getting into payables and perform the revaluation, directly we are creating in the GL for the testing purpose. So select accounts payable account. Okay, as on 1st August, by following the rate as 67, so 1 lakh rupees equal to $1,492.54. So now what we have to do is we have to save complete and we have to post it. Complete. Just make a note of this accounts payable account. I think in the value set we have multiple accounts payable accounts. Just for practice, somebody created. But just make a note of accounts payable account against which account we have a journal and post this journal. Say we created this journal on 1st August. Say today is 19th. Now we want to reevaluate. Okay, we want to find out the variance, and the variance will come into the picture if there is any fluctuation in the rate. Yes, we defined. So we taken on 1st August 67, as on today rate is 70 we taken. Now we can go and perform the revaluation for the same liability account. We can find out the variance. The variance will be resulted in the uh, revaluation journal creation as a realized gain or loss against the account which you are selecting. Account which will be selecting is for which accounts we can do the revaluation for current asset or current liability. Since we are taking the example of expense journal, so only we can use the same account called as accounts payable account. That means current liability we are going to do the revaluation. So fine. So we created. Now we'll go and perform the revaluation. So to perform the revaluation, you can go to period close, go to task list. So these all activities which we do as a periodic activities, revaluations, translations and all. So they're given as a part of period close. So go to task called as revalue balances and click on create. We are going to create the revaluation definition where we provide unrealized gain, loss accounts, and for which accounts we want to do the revaluation we have to list out. The same we do in EBS, no difference here you could see. So, fine. The name we can give Cloud INC revaluation, or else we may write as payables, accounts payable revaluation. Select our chart of accounts, Cloud INC. We want to do the revaluation for which currency? INR. Conversion rate type is corporate and specify unrealized gain and loss accounts here. So system is going to, depending on that variance, it could be gain or loss, right? unrealized gain account. Not sure how we have value here. Fine, no issues. We'll say gain. So any unrealized we have? Realized only we have. Fine, no issues. We don't have that account. Just treat this account is unrealized exchange rate gain account. Okay, here we have to use unrealized, but we don't have that account, so I'm using realized. The realized exchange rate gain or loss we'll have in the subledger application, right? But just for testing, we can take it, no issues. But reality here we have to select realized gain, unrealized gain account, and below unrealized loss account. Here we require unrealized loss account. So realized exchange rate loss account. Okay. So since we don't have that exact accounts in this environment, we are selecting realized gain and loss, but reality those should be unrealized gain and loss accounts. Okay, done. You can go with the PTD. And once you submit the revaluation for specific realized, current asset or liability account or accounts, system will identify the variance. It will create the revaluation journal entry. That journal entry we want to post system automatically or not, we have to select. You can select post automatically. Whatever the revaluation journal system will create, we want system to post it automatically. Fine. Now for which accounts we want to perform the revaluation, those accounts we have to select. So we can select account called as accounts payable account. Go to filter option, select account. Account is 21010. Because against this account only we have journal. Say okay. Say save and close. Now select this definition, click on generate. Submitting the revaluation. So our ledger is Cloud INC USA primary ledger. The revaluation name is Cloud INC revaluation. The same you can select here. And when in which period we are doing this, in the same period. And system has to use which rate. That could be rate which we have for today, or else you can use the past rate. Okay, past rate also. Yesterday rate and today rate is same. In that case, we can select yesterday date. So system will fetch the rate which is available with yesterday date. Now anyway, we define the rate for today also. The today rate is $70. Now you can submit it. System will identify the variance between 1st August and 19th August, that is today, with the liability account. And the variance it will create as a revaluation journal. Fine, just be submitted. We can close it. So we can go to scheduled processes. There we can see a system will be running the revaluation job. So revalue balances. Now system will create the revaluation journal as well as it will post. The same system is doing it. We submit a revaluation, the result system created revaluation journal. That journal also system is posting. Post journal for single ledger. That means revaluation journal system created and posted also. We can go and find it. Go to journals. Manage journals. So when system create revaluation journal, it system uses source and category as a revaluation only. Okay, the same you can filter. Search. So system created revaluation journal for INR balances and it posted also. Open this journal. There won't be any difference in the functional currency, right? In terms of dollars, there won't be any difference. But only the difference we can see in the foreign currency. Okay. Sorry, here like USD is our functional currency, right? We are entering the foreign currency. In foreign currency, there won't be any difference. Only the difference will come in the functional currency to pay that foreign currency amounts. So here, system is taking the variance based on the currency fluctuations by following this rate. This is how the difference, $63.97. So how it is resulting? This is the accounts payable account, liability account, and here because of the rate variance, so we are able to see unrealized gain. It's not realized, it's unrealized. Since we don't have that account we use, so system is showing $63 are unrealized gain. And again, when you run the revaluation, this revaluation journal we can reverse manually. You may reverse or else you can use the auto reversal for the revaluation category. Source and category it will use the revaluation only. Or else whenever you open the next period, you can just you can schedule it to reverse the revaluation journals automatically. Okay, the same setup, same process, everything remains same if you compare with EBS. Otherwise, just anyway, we are just finding the process. Okay, this is all about revaluation. System created revaluation journal by capturing the variance as unrealized gain. In the current scenario, it is gain. And the next topic is translation. So we'll look at the translation. So now we have all the transactions in dollars. So we know we perform the translation as a part of consolidation activity. Say we want to do the consolidation in rupees. Okay, we want to do the consolidation in rupees. In that case, we have to translate the balances from INR to USD to INR. So translation means it's all about converting the balances from functional to foreign currency. Our functional currency is USD. We'll be translating all the balances from USD to INR. So this activity only we are calling as translation. After performing the translation, all the balances would be available in the targeted currency, that is INR, and we will work on consolidation concept by creating the consolidation ledger in INR. So we can move all the translated balances from US primary ledger to consolidation ledger. Okay, so we'll go and do it. So when I talk about translation, we have to use the different type of rates, right? when we'll talk about it. So first we have to set up the rates. So we have basically three type of rates, right? Period end, average, and historical, where the period end rates for assets and liabilities, period average rates for expense and revenue, and historical rates for ownership account balances. All the balances we are going to translate. All balances are belongs to different nature of accounts. So accordingly, we have to set the rates in the application. Fine.
Will, will, will you please repeat that sentence one more time, please?
It's better to write down there in the Excel sheet if you don't remember.
Morally, these are not new learnings for us in the fusion. That is the reason I am not focusing on this. So, these are like same as it is from EBS. Okay, the same standard functional time. Just referring once again. So translation means entire balances we convert. How many type of accounts we have? 5 type of accounts. Expense, revenue, asset, liability, and ownership type of accounts. When we are converting all these balances, we have to use the different type of rates to convert specific nature of accounts. To convert expense and revenues, we use period average rates. Okay, we have to take the rate for that. If you take current period, within this current period related balances, all balances we are going to translate. So which rate you have to use within that period? What is the average rate? Okay, average conversion rate. That rate we have to take. For that we use the rate type as average rate. Period end rate. End rate means, so end of that period, what is the conversion rate? By end of the period, if you take the conversion of US to INR, there could be some fluctuations. But end of the period, what is the rate we have that we'll be using for assets and liabilities? When I talk about ownership type of accounts, we use historical. Okay, based on the some historical calculations. When you talk about ownership account balances, that's all about retained earnings. Retained earnings belongs to multiple years which will be carry forward. So that is the reason which rate, what is the conversion rate we have to take, that need to be decided and taken. Okay. Maybe with this point you cannot understand the translation. You should just get that basics of translation. Okay, fine. We'll be using the three type of rates. So that is the reason I said, I don't say you are attending that is wrong and all, but that is the reason in the initial stage itself I was clearly mentioning. If you are okay with EBS, that will help you. But we can discuss. If you have questions, you can ask me. But what is the best possibility here we have to discuss, that will discuss. We cannot go to very fundamentals, and the ground level we cannot touch. So we're going to set the rates. We have a three type of rates, right? Basically we have three type of rates. Those are period end, period average rates, historical. Okay, we have to set the rates for these three type of rates: period end, period average, and historical rate. Okay, we have to set for this. After setting the rates for these three type of rate types, we have to set default rate types at ledger level. Say set default rate types at ledger. Which rate types we can set as default? First two, period end and average. And finally we have to add the translation currency. We are going to translate our balances into which currency? We are just planning to translate our USD balances into INR. So that translated balances, we want to perform the translation which currency? That currency we have to add at ledger level as a reporting currency. Okay, say add translation currency at ledger. Okay, add translation currency at ledger. And after completing these setups, we'll run the translation. So the system will translate all the balances The balances which got translated, those you can transfer to consolidation ledger. That we'll see in the consolidation concept. Here just it's all about converting. That's all. Same setups we do in EBS also. We have to set up the rate types. If you want to create rate types also, you can create that option. We have anyway, Oracle is providing the seeded rates as a period end average and historical. The same you can use. So set default rate types at ledger level so that whenever you are going to add translation currency at ledger, those rate types will be defaulted. Otherwise, you can select manual process. And finally, once we're done with that, we can go and run the translation. We'll see the process. Okay, first we have to set the rate types. So far we have seen the rate definition for corporate rate type, right? Daily rates. Through daily rates, we just define the rate for corporate rate type. Now in case of translation, these are the three type of rates which we'll be using since the balances are not live transactions. All the balances belongs to the historical transaction, means past, maybe entire period or multiple periods. Fine. So we'll go and set the rates. The rates always we set from the same daily rates function. Now we have to go to rate definition function. So go to period close. So manage currency rates. Daily rates. So create in spreadsheet. Say OK. So from and to rate currency USD to INR. Rate type. So three rate types we have, but only two rate types you can set from this daily rates sheet. So period end and average rates we can set from here. For historical, we have a separate option. We'll see that. So period end rate, date we can just set up to today. Just today we can set it up. We'll be doing the translation today itself, so we can set for today. So conversion rate, say the period end rate is 70. And period average, the period average for expense and revenue, right? So throughout the period there are some fluctuations for the rate. So different rates, on and average you may take 69. These two rates, period and historical rates, we have to import. Then say OK. So we define the rates for period end and average. Now we have to define for historical. So here is the task, the specific tab we have, historical rates. Select ledger. Cloud INC, USA primary ledger. Our target currency is INR. Rate type is historical. Okay. Say create in spreadsheet. Say connect. Just close it. So when you talk about historical rates, that's related to retained earnings account balances. So those are not belongs to just this year. So for many years, normally we carry forward. So for all those years of conversion, we have to take into the consideration. Accordingly, we have to set it up. So select the same account, ownership account here. The rate which you are set that should impact on which account related balances. Returned earnings account you can select. Just say OK. So you can select current period since we are going to perform in the current period. August. Target currency is USD. Sorry, INR. Right. Say rate. So the returned earnings, whatever the balances we have, say belongs to multiple years, past 10 years of balances and all carry forward and all. The rate conversion may be 55 only. Okay, on an average for all those years, rates conversions and all, maybe just 55. So that's how you can specify. Go to create historical rates and say upload. Done. Close it. So now we have to set the period end and average rates as a default at ledger level. Okay, go to ledger. Ledger means here ledger options. As a part of ledger definition, one-time task just will provide and will create any changes or any controls you have to set. Always we have to go through ledger options. Go to ledger option to set these two type of rates as a default rates for that ledger for translation purpose. Go to specify ledger options. Okay, specify ledger options. If you are going to translate this ledger balances into any one of the targeted currency, which rate types you want to use for translation. So select default period end rate type and default period average rate type. period and rate. This is the rate we are going to use, and against the rate only we define the rate also, and the period average rate, and provide CT account, cumulative translation adjustment account, to capture the variance between these three rates. Okay, the setups what we are doing as it is if you compare with EBS. Okay, search for account called as cumulative translation adjustment account. Select it. Between the three type of rates, period and average, historical, what are the variance we have that system will be hitting to this account. So say save and close. Now just we have to add the translation currency to our ledger as a reporting currency. The reporting currency option will add it as a reporting currency. To add translation currency to our ledger as a reporting currency, we have to use the task called as reporting currencies only. Manage reporting currencies. So in case of reporting ledger, we use conversion as a journals. That's what we did. In case of translation, which a conversion method we follow? Balances. Okay, we'll set accordingly. Say create. Cloud INC translation. The translation from USD to INR. So since it's a translation, you have to select currency conversion level balances. Yes, balances we are going to convert. Okay, balances we are going to convert to which currency? INR. The system is defaulting the rate types, period and average, which we set at that specify ledger options level. The same is defaulting. And say save and close. Say save and close. And we complete all the setups. Now just we have to run the translation process so that it will translate the balances. So all the translated balances we can transfer to consolidation ledger, and we can see that same information detail level. Now to perform the translation, go to period close task. Under that, go to task list and say translate balances. So target currency is yes INR, accounting period is current period. If you want to do the translation for specific balance and segment values, yes, you can select. Otherwise, you don't need to select. System will perform for all. But anyway, we have a transactions only for one segment, one balance and segment value, that is 1000. No need to select. You can leave it. Say submit. Okay, this system will trigger translation job to translate the balances. Okay, so change the translation rates, translate general ledger account balances. Okay. Okay, system perform this task. Now, as the next activity, what we have to do, we have to move these translated balances from primary ledger to consolidation ledger, or you may call as parent ledger. That we can see the process of consolidation activity. Whatever the balances are translated will move to consolidation ledger. Within the consolidation ledger, we can see all the translated balances in INR. So that will do as a part of consolidation. We'll just perform the consolidation setups so that we can move those balances from our primary ledger to consolidation ledger. We know very well, as a part of consolidation, our primary ledger we treat as subsidiary, or else if consolidation ledger you want to call it as a parent ledger, our subsidiary ledger we call as child ledger. The same terminology we use, what we use based on this concept. So say we want to consolidate, we want to merge the data in one ledger. That ledger only we call as consolidation ledger. Now what we have to do is, since we have a plan of merging the multiple ledgers data into one ledger in INR, we have to create the consolidation ledger. So you have a business in 10 countries business transactions you want to get into one ledger in one currency. In that case, that ledger you have to create as a consolidation ledger. Right? Create consolidation ledger. So we translated USD balances into INR. So create consolidation ledger in INR only. Okay. To have access to this consolidation ledger, we can create separate user. So create new user who can have access to this consolidation ledger. I'll say cloud INC consolidation. And assign basic roles to this user to have access to GL data. Assign GL roles to user, may not be all, one or two. And we have to provision the access to this user roles to this consolidation ledger. Say, provide data access for user. It's a user roles, right? After providing the data access, basically we run LDAP job. Okay. After completing this, we have to open the periods in consolidation ledger. And we have to perform the mapping between subsidiary and consolidation ledger chart of accounts. So map subsidiary means our primary ledger. Map subsidiary and consolidation ledger chart of accounts. We know how to do the mapping between the chart of accounts. Already we did this as a part of secondary ledger. The same function feature will be using to perform this mapping. After completing this mapping, we can transfer the translated balances from our primary to consolidation ledger. Say transfer balances from subsidiary. As per consolidation, we are calling as subsidiary, that is nothing but our primary, right? So from every country, from their primary ledger, they will transfer the translated balances to consolidation ledger. Okay, transfer balance from subsidiary to consolidation ledger. Once we get the data, we post the data. The moment we post, you can say data got consolidated. Based on that, you can prepare the reports, what reports you want to prepare. Done. So process wise, this is what we have to understand. Now first we'll go and create the consolidation ledger. How do we create the consolidation ledger? The same process. How we create the primary ledger? The same way we create for purposes for consolidation. Okay, we'll go and create the consolidation ledger. You can just go to, sorry, setup and maintenance. So search for the task called as manage primary ledgers or primary ledgers. By using the same task, we can create the consolidation ledger. We don't have a separate task for consolidation. Only the purpose is consolidation. Definition wise, it's same as primary. Just click on go to task icon. Say create. So cloud INC consolidation ledger. So as a part of consolidation ledger, which chart of accounts you want to use? Same chart of accounts or different chart of accounts? Chart of accounts can be different. We'll be able to do the mapping with the chart of accounts mapping. Okay, it can be same or different. Totally depends how you are going to manage that. Consolidation ledger currencies INR. We want to consolidate all the data in INR. All the ledgers data we want to merge into this ledger in this currency. Anyway, accounting method you can just ignore, not required since it's consolidation. We don't use this in the subledger level to record the transactions, right? Done. Now we have to specify the ledger options for this consolidation ledger. Just click on selected scope value. Select and add. Click on apply and go to task. Select our consolidation ledger. Search. Select our consolidation ledger and say save and close. So provide returned earnings account. Select company. Account is returned earnings account. Select returned earnings account and say OK. Say OK. So now you may transfer the balances from multiple subsidiary ledger to consolidation ledger. That's how reality works, right? If you have a business in 10 countries, say maybe your headquarters based out in India, and all the other countries where you do the business, those you call as subsidiaries. From all the subsidiary ledgers, subsidiary ledger means primary ledger only. So you will be transferring the data to consolidation ledger in consolidation currency INR. So in that process, there may be cases where there could be some slight variance in the balances because of conversions and all. If system identifies any variance in any journals which are flowing from any subsidiary ledgers, If you want to balance that automatically, you can enable the suspense. Okay, so here we have a enable suspense for general ledger GL. So within the GL, if any data is coming to this consolidation ledger from subsidiary, if system identifies any variance, normally you don't find anything. If any scenario, if any variance is going to come, then system will stop the process. Instead of stopping, if you want to accept those cases into consolidation ledger later to just you can fix it, you can look into that, you can fix. So the variance you can target to the suspense account, so that when you are trying to transfer the balances from a subsidiary to consolidation ledger, there won't be an issue. Okay, better you can enable the suspense and provide suspense account. Any variances are there in the process of transferring, those system will hit to this account if required. Okay, just you can set, because all the balances which are coming based on the conversion, there could be some very minute variances. Okay, those can be captured into this suspense account if required. So better you can have keep this account enable and provide the same account here, suspense. If required, system will use, otherwise anyway it's not required. Fine, done. So primarily we are providing the retained earnings account. You may set this option so that if such kind of scenarios will come into picture, system can handle. Done. We created consolidation ledger. Now to complete the consolidation ledger creation, we have to review and submit, right? We have to perform that. The task we have to perform, so that our consolidation ledger status will turn into confirmed. Say manage, or else directly you can search for the task. Review and submit accounting configuration. So review and submit accounting configuration, which ledger in the scope, or consolidation ledger only. Click on go to task icon. Just click on submit. This is for consolidation. We no need to create the legal entities, no need to map, right? It's internal purpose, not the real one. So we submitted, we know automatically system will just trigger the remaining jobs which are required to validate and to transfer the same information to space. Those points we discussed at the time of primary ledger creation. Same is applicable here. Now we'll go and create separate user to give the access to consolidation ledger. So go to
Lakshman, can we able to consolidate multiple companies into one for all the reporting purposes?
So you no need to consolidate multiple companies if the companies are in one ledger. Okay. If you have one ledger, you can think the data is consolidated data only. Only the point is when consolidation will come to the picture. You have multiple ledgers. The multiple ledgers data, you have a requirement to prepare one report data which is belongs to multiple ledgers, 10 ledgers. In that case only, the 10 ledgers data you have to bring into one ledger in the in specific targeted currency. So your targeted currency is INR. Those 10 ledgers may be in the 10 different currencies. First you convert, say USD to INR, AED to INR, GBP to INR, all you have to convert by using the translation the respective ledgers. Finally, all will be transferring to consolidation ledger. So that is the purpose we use. For multiple companies means you may have multiple companies within the one ledger. So in that case, consolidation is not required. Within one ledger, you can prepare any sort of reports across the companies. Okay. So we'll go on.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. User. So username we can give as cloud inc con. Just consolidation. So you can set the password. And assign one or two roles. Which roles allows this user to have access to GL functionality. Say general accounting manager. Along with this, if you want to assign, you can assign general accountant. Fine, done. System is again changing the password what we are setting. So again I am entering. So save and close. We created user and we assign the roles. For those two roles, we have to associate our consolidation ledger. We have to map. To perform the task, we have a task name called as data access for users, right? From here also you can search for the task. Okay, just click on create. Our username is cloudinccon. Select role called as general accountant. Security contest is data access set. Cloud INC consolidation ledger. Again, just click on add. Cloud INC consolidation. Yes. Role is general accounting manager. Security contest is data access set. So select our consolidation ledger for this user related role. Cloud INC consolidation. Just click on save and close. Now we have to submit LDAP job for this role synchronization. Just click on submit. Just say OK. Okay, we're done. So now we have to open the periods in consolidation ledger. To perform this, first system has to synchronize the roles and role related data access, consolidation ledger access for the consolidation user. Okay, hope system completed that synchronization. We'll go and give a trial. If it works, so okay, we'll go and open the periods. Otherwise, we'll wait for some time and we'll complete the task. Username is Cloud INC Consolidation CON. Cloud INC CON. Just provide password. What we have to do, we have to open the periods in consolidation ledger. Go to period close. Just click on period status. Say OK to open John as a first period. Yes. Say OK. Now just open current period as a target period to receive the data from other subsidiary ledgers into this period. August 18. So we know very well we use all these ledgers to receive the data except primary ledger. Primary ledger is the one where we record the transaction. The other ledgers, that could be secondary ledger, reporting ledger, consolidation ledger, all these ledgers we use to receive the data from the primary with a different purposes. Okay, done. We open the current period. Now we have to perform the mapping between the subsidiary and the consolidation ledger chart of account. So this user doesn't have access to setup and maintenance task, means FSM, functional setup manager. This user has access to only GL, transaction process. So sign out from this user. So log into the instance as a consultant implementation user. Username is Cloud INC user. Go to project. Chart of accounts mapping. So manage chart of accounts mapping. Which chart of accounts we have to map? Subsidiary ledger and consolidation ledger chart of accounts. Fine. The task is manage chart of accounts mappings. Just click on this task. Say create. So earlier we created mapping, right? For secondary ledger, this is the one. Cloud INC, primary ledger and secondary ledger COA mapping. Now we are going to do for subsidiary, nothing but our primary only. In consolidation process, we call as that as a subsidiary, since it's going to report to consolidation ledger. Between subsidiary and consolidation ledger chart of accounts. Just click on create. Say Cloud INC subsidiary to consolidation COA mapping. So target chart of accounts. Which chart of accounts consolidation ledger is using? Cloud INC. Which chart of account is used by source chart of accounts means which chart of account is used by our primary ledger or say subsidiary ledger. Same, we are using same. This can be different also, right? If different, accordingly we'll do the mapping. So mapping method, just the same segment, company to company, department to department, account to account. If you don't want to map, you can leave it to specific segment, which is not mandatory. Other than balancing and natural account, you may ignore. That totally depends, like how you have your primary, how you have your consolidation ledger chart of accounts. Based on that, you can do it. Just say save and close. Just we did the mapping between these two chart of accounts. Done. So after that, we have to transfer the balances from subsidiary to consolidation. Go to schedule process, means ESS job page.
Lakshman, sorry to ask you this question. We put a source and target same, but since we have only one ledger because
No. This is how we
clouding.
create. This is how we create. If you have a 10
Uh,
ledgers, 10 times you have to perform this. If
oh,
you
okay,
ledger,
okay.
say you are doing the consolidation in India, your US ledger
Mm,
chart of accounts under India consolidation chart of accounts one time. UK chart of
mm.
accounts under India consolidation
US.
chart of account.
Okay, UK to India. Okay, we have to do 10 times.
All yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
One time you cannot do. One time you cannot do the mapping from multiple subsidiary to one consolidation. One to one mapping you have to do. Even data also will be transferring accordingly, right? One subsidiary to the same target prime consolidation ledger. Yeah, fine. Okay, now we have to do the transfer. We have to transfer the balances. Which balances? Translated balances which are available in our primary ledger. Those we have to transfer to consolidation ledger. So look for that, transfer balances. This is the job we have to use. Transfer ledger balances. It could be any ledger, but in this process, subsidiary to consolidation. So transfer balances from one ledger to another. Say okay. If you
Does
remember,
it take
yeah.
does it take the data to the SBS database?
So it won't work at space. This transfer here within the Oracle database against the consolidation ledger, what are the journals information we have with the summarize that it will take to the consolidation ledger. Once the data goes to consolidation ledger, after posting again it will be updated in the space, not directly S-based data to S-base. Okay, the
Oh, it's a
general
similar way for
information it will flow.
similar way like primary ledger. Okay,
Yes, a general way. How data is flowing uh,
thanks.
from primary to secondary or reporting. In the same way it will be transferred, but it will consider the balances because already those we translated. Okay, fine. Our source ledger. Source ledger means our subsidiary ledger. What is our actual subsidiary ledger? Cloud IMC USA primary ledger. Okay. Okay. So we added here, if you remember this step. So, so the translation, add translation currency at ledger, right? Here we given one name. Hope that name you remember. The name we given as Cloud IMC translation USD to INR, right? Okay. At the time of adding translation currency in our primary for our primary ledger as a reporting currency, we given this name. That means with this name only system will be holding all the translated balances, not with our actual ledger. Within our actual Cloud INC USA primary ledger, we added reporting currency called as INR, okay, for translation purpose by selecting that conversion level as a balances. So for that definition, we given this name and we perform the translation. All the translated balances from USD to INR system will be holding with this name, what name we given in this setup. Now we'll see that, we'll understand. So what is our subsidiary ledger? Cloud INC USA primary ledger I am selecting. What is our target ledger? What is our target ledger?
Consolidated ledger.
Yes, Cloud INC consolidation. Cloud INC search. We are not getting right. If a search it should come, it is not coming. The secondary ledger is coming. Why it is not coming? The reason is against our primary ledger, we added translation currency for translation purpose. This is the name we given. All the translated balances system will be holding with this name, not with our primary ledger name. So that is the reason if you select our primary ledger, it won't allow you to transfer to consolidation ledger. Okay, so here source ledger you have to select. In translation currency definition time, whatever the name you given, that name you have to select. What name we given? Cloud INC translation USD to INR. So that name you have to select, then system will allow you to transfer, because the balances are not available in our primary ledger. Within our against our primary ledger, we done the translation. The translated balances with the reference of primary ledger system is maintaining with the translation title. Okay, here the name which we given is Cloud INC translation USD to INR. This name we have to use. Okay, this name we have to use.
Lakshman, is the same in EBS also? I'm not aware of this.
EBS also has the same. There also will just no EBS when we are doing this, yeah, this is a translation, right? Same we'll use. If you go and select your primary ledger, you don't find your consolidation ledger. Okay, you have to select this name only. There also will be adding the name, right? So there, in case of EBS, how do we just add? We'll enter into primary ledger. Within the primary ledger, we have a reporting currency section. There will be adding the same logic applicable there. However we use in EBS, same they given here. Okay, but in 11.8 is different. Okay, in 11.8 is different, because in 11.8 we create any report. These as a separate definitions as a setup books. Okay, those setup books concept. So whatever the name you provide as a reporting, that you don't need to use. You will be selecting the subsidiary setup books only in 11i. From R12, this is the logic. R12 also it works in the same way, the same, just the solution they move to Fusion. Now targeted ledger you can find out. Your target ledger is Cloud INC consolidation ledger. Cloud INC consolidation ledger. Now you can get. Why system is showing Cloud INC consolidation ledger? Because whatever the name you are selecting here, that should include INR. If it is INR, all other ledgers which are maintained, okay, that it will show here as a target currency. Within this source ledger, okay, we selected target currency as INR. So this ledger also has a INR, consolidation ledger is an INR, that is displaying. So the other point is that is a logic which you have to understand. So what are the name we given at ledger level as a reporting currency for translation? The same name you have to select. The anomaly system will display consolidation ledger here. We did the chart of accounts mapping, right? The same you have to select. Cloud AMC, subsidiary and consolidation COA mapping. Amount type, the specific period amounts are per quarter and year are PJTD, project to date balances. Now we don't have too much of balances here. Only one period balances we have. You can select period. And source ledger period, current period only. From source ledger, which period balances you want to translate, which you want to transfer. We have everything in the current month only. The same, and targeted also, target ledger also same. So what are the balances we have in our subsidiary ledger and which are translated in August? Those we want to transfer to consolidation ledger period called as August. So after transferring, data goes to GL interface. So let system run journal import. Otherwise we have to go and submit one more job called as import journals. So let system create summary journals. It creates summary journals only. So just so run automatic posting also. Let system post it. This and all we want to do for how many companies. Let it be blank. So system will run for all the companies. But anyway, we have everything for only one company. The transaction which we recorded and translation which we did for one company. Since balances transactions we have only for one company. Just click on submit. So this concept also please.
This particular job works for one company, one period. So if we have multiple companies, multiple periods for
No, no,
consolidation, we have to run
no.
that many times.
One company not. For entire ledger, in ledger you may have multiple companies. For each ledger you have to perform this separately. Their company field we have, right? There if you select one company, then it will work for one company. If you don't select, it will work for all the companies. For how many companies you perform the translation. When you do the translation also you can select the company, right? One or if you select one, only one translation will be performed. If you don't select, system will run the translation for all. The same way, you want to transfer the data for specific company data which is part of the same ledger or else all companies data, that you can take the decision.
I'm little confused with the legal entity and company. If we are
See,
legal entities in different countries.
one second here. In our chart of accounts we have company segment, right?
Yes. Oh, got it. Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
So that company, here the company means that. Here we are not, see, under one legal entity you may have 10 companies. Here legal entity base we are not doing anything in this process. Okay, legal entity won't come into the picture, but the legal entity always these companies are mapped with the legal entities. That.
Yeah, the reason I'm saying is if we are in different countries, definitely the legal entity is different for the
Legal entity is
different
different.
country.
Before that, ledger is different. That is the point.
Yes.
So here
Ledger must be different.
yeah, we are doing for one ledger only, right? India, US
Yes.
ledger to India. So the same
Yes.
thing you have to repeat for other ledgers. Yeah. And one more,
Yeah, that's
one ledger you may have multiple legal entities also, right?
possible. Yes.
Because of that, we are not going to do multiple times. Ledger is one. That's it. Doesn't matter how many legal entities. That is the reason. In this process, you don't need to consider about legal entities. Only ledger is the primary element. Yep. Done.
Lakshman, for the one ledger, right now we are mapping to one primary ledger to consolidation ledger, but we are running for one period. Now, in a process perspective, if we want to do consolidation, we need to run for every monthly this process,
If
or it is a one-time effort.
this is one time we do, one time year end will be doing this activity. So there we have option, right? Amount type. I selected PTD, means period. If you want to move the specific quarter data, select QTD. Entire year data, YTD.
Correct, but is that process run during the year, or we need to run every quarterly, every
No, no, no.
monthly, and we will
It,
not required.
consolidation will do the end of the year-end activity consolidation. Yep, that's how we can do it.
And moreover, it is doing only balances, summary balances.
Balances only, yeah. It's a balances. Because detailed transactions anyway will be having over there, but it's for reporting purpose. So you can summarize the specific account balances with the specific periods, and you can transfer.
Basically, global CFOs are interested in this.
Yeah. If they are doing the business globally, they can do the global consolidation. Global consolidation means different countries' ledgers. Some clients will have a different multiple ledgers in one country also with the different reasons. Different businesses they want to manage everything differently. In that case, that consolidation we don't call as global. It's just consolidation we call. If multiple countries' ledgers are going to be involved in the consolidation, that we call as global consolidation. Yes. Okay. So across the globe, if they are having operations in 100 countries, so they want to prepare single report. They should all the data they'll be having in the different ledgers in different currency. For multiple countries of 100 countries of ledgers data, if they need in one currency to prepare consolidated reports, which talks about their 100 countries business account business 100 countries data related report. If you want to create, only the option is consolidate. Before consolidating, translate the balances from that country currency to consolidation currency, in which currency you want to consolidate. After that, move to consolidation ledger. So 100 countries of the data transaction balances will be in one ledger in one currency, so you can prepare any sort of report which is possible with the data, so that you'll have a
That's
view of understanding.
I have one question. Like in our current organization, wherever we are working, for US has one primary ledger, for UK has one ledger, Singapore, China has one ledger, and UK, I mean Europe, sorry, Netherlands has one ledger. Like a different kind of ledgers. But we can consider for is it that is eligible for global consolidation?
Yeah, definitely. If they want to do that, it's always eligible. For consolidation, only simple point is you should have more than one primary ledger. That's all. For global consolidation, you should have more than one primary ledger, then you can do it. See, even if you have only in these two countries also, yes, you can do the global consolidation, because so US and UK. Now what we have to do, or else say client is doing the business in these three countries. Their plan is they want to do the consolidation in US. Now three ledgers, every country has their own primary ledger to record the transactions. So US will have a consolidation ledger. We'll create one more ledger called as consolidation. See, these points are not enough if you are trying to understand these concepts. There are many things which you have to understand. So you have to understand thoroughly multi-org structure and what base you derive the operating unit. Same logic is applicable for business units. There are many other things, but since you raise this point, I'm talking
Yeah,
about it.
we are trying to understand the high level,
Yeah,
high level
I'm
understanding.
thinking is, don't take me wrong, that won't be enough. If you are trying to
No,
understand,
no, that it's
there you
go
can
from there.
understand.
We'll go from there. Yes.
Yeah, and all the ways it may not be enough. If you are,
So some questions are very high level. Do
yeah,
you know global
I
consolidation?
agree with you.
I mean, even we don't even know what we are talking about. Just to high level understand.
Yeah, yes. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, fine.
That one line is definitely very helpful.
Yeah.
Multiple primary ledgers.
Yes,
That's all it is. Yeah.
yeah. So this is how we have to create the consolidation ledger for US. We'll create the US consolidation ledger. Reality, we have three primary ledgers for three countries. In case of consolidation, so we have to create one more ledger. Now, in US you don't need to do the translation directly. You can move these US balances into this US consolidation. UK you have to translate to all the balances into USD. Those will be transferring to US ledger, US consolidation ledger. India, you have to perform the translation. After translating the translated balance, you have to move to US consolidation ledger. When you talk about US balance are in INR, USD only. No need to perform the translation. US ledger balances and US consolidation ledger balances same, just you will be transferring, that's it. So this is how just you can do. And now three countries ledgers data will be available in US consolidation ledger in USD currency. Now you can prepare the report. This we call as global consolidation. Okay, now we go and find out the balances. The translated balances are transferred from our primary ledger or say subsidiary ledger to consolidation ledger. Okay, just go to that consolidation user. So we given the name as Cloud INC COL. Go to journals. So we didn't create many journals in this environment, right? The one which we used earlier, that we have many transactions which we create in subledgers and transfer to GL. But in this environment, we have very few journals. So here you can see as all those journal information is translated into INR and transfer to this consolidation ledger from primary. Select period. So transferred. Scroll a little down, you could see how transfer happened. All this. So now all these balances are in consolidation ledger in consolidated currency, that is INR. The same way, you may have a transaction the different ledgers in different currency. If all you want to get into this consolidation ledger, same process. What we did for USA primary ledger, same you have to do for other ledger. Now you have a UAE primary ledger. What you have to do? You have to go to UAE primary ledger. The same setup you have to repeat what we did. First you have to translate. So for that you have to define the rates between UAE to INR, and this setup you have to complete. The default rates you have to set, and you have to add for UAE ledger INR as a translation currency, and you have to provide the name, and then we'll run the translation. After that, consolidation ledger one time definition. So you don't need to do anything, only you have to, and your user also same user, you can use all the roles and all. Okay, so in this case consolidation to this user only will be mapping the this user consolidation ledger, we are giving nothing. Open period, done. Only you have to perform this additional task if you are going to do it for one more ledger. You have to map subsidiary and consolidation ledger chart of accounts, means UAE chart of accounts with consolidation ledger chart of accounts, then transfer balances to consolidation ledger. The balances will move from your UAE primary ledger or say UAE subsidiary ledger to consolidation ledger. One more ledger if you want to do same setup, same you have to perform the translation between say GBP to INR. Just perform all this, run translation and do mapping and transfer balances. This is how just we can replicate this same to multiple countries ledgers as a consolidation. So this is a
One last
yeah,
question. One last question.
yeah.
Go to the Excel sheet once. I mean, are we dealing for UAE right now?
No, not required. Just
No, right, no.
I'm just telling.
Okay. So one last question is, in the add translation currency at ledger for the UAE ledger, specify ledger options, we need to set the reporting currency as the UAE, right?
Correct. Not UAE,
Okay.
INR.
Oh, okay. No, not this one. For the UAE purpose, I am telling UAE to INR.
Simple point.
If I want to do.
See, consolidation ledger, consolidation in INR. If you take that example, what is your question?
My question is.
You are going to do the consolidation in INR only, right?
Correct. But my question is add a translation currency at ledger.
Yeah.
That step,
Yeah.
what reporting currency we need to for UAE?
We go to UAE primary ledger, right? So by selecting the UAE primary ledger, we'll go to the task called as
Specify ledger options.
currencies.
Okay. Okay.
The UAE means AED. The AED currency you want to report in which currency?
INR.
That's it. Add INR over there.
Okay.
Okay. So the name you will provide as a.
Oh, name like cloud. Yeah, correct. Okay.
Okay.
So that navigation is
that
is not specify ledger options. It is a manage translation, something else.
That is separate tasks. Okay.
Okay. Separate task. Okay.
These tasks, these parts. This one.
Understood. Okay.
We are done. Fine. The same.
Lakshman, I have a different question though.
Yeah.
When you are running this transfer balances program, you are running with the cloud INC user.
Yes.
The background program, whatever you are running, that it must be a concurrent manager, a standard manager, whatever. So, is there anything like privileges we need to set, or it's already from any basically from anywhere we can run these programs?
That job we are getting because the job is available in the GL roles which we assign to the user. The jobs will be part of the roles. If you don't want to allow the user, go to the jobs which are the jobs general accounting manager, okay, general accountant. Within these jobs, within these roles we have the job, the process name. If you don't want to allow some user to submit that, you can go and remove from their job which jobs are assigned. Because of jobs, because of roles, the job is coming in that schedule process page.
So there is nothing extra we need to set.
No, nothing.
As a role, it's a part of a role, and it will come and you can run it.
Yes, exactly.
So for any ledger.
Yes, sir.
Any ledger.
In EBS, when you create the request group, you can select the specific program or report, right? Reports under program.
Yes.
We can select here the same report. You can select into job as well as this processes also.
Okay.
Only role based access.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine. So that's all about consolidation. This is how we have to perform depending on the scenarios. How many ledgers you have, how you want to do. This is how we can do it. Okay. So then that's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow and we'll just continue with the rest of topics.